at Skyhawk After Dark Radio, the longest domain in the history of adult radio, skyhawkafterdarkradio.com. And Fridays at 12 p.m. Pacific, Saturdays at 8 a.m. Pacific. And God bless to the people that are listening to us Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. Pacific. You are the true heroes. Thank you for joining us here on our big program. And of course, iHeartRadio as well. We also post our video clips to Rumble, BitChute, of course, the fantastic YouTube, and Clout Hub, whatever the hell that is. And of course, you can get all of our videos and audio at jiggyjaguar.xxx. And the fantastic Torey Lisa joins us here on our big program. You are, as advertised, my friend, you are quite the perf magnet. Thank you for...
I'm so glad to be here. Thank you.
Thank you for,
yeah, there's some truth to that, so you're not wrong.
So, talk to us a little bit about your background. How in the world do you end up in this crazy, crazy business of sex work and adult film?
That's a great question. When I was 49, I had a major life change. I left a marriage of multiple decades and decided to be happy. And one of the things that I did was reflect back on, doing an inventory of my life and saying, what were the things that I did in my life that made me happy? I want to go back and do that. And then as well as finding new things to do, to explore. It's all about a journey of self-expression. So for my 50th birthday, I made a promise to myself by my 50th birthday, to get back into modeling, because I used to model many, many years ago. I modeled swimwear. I didn't get nude back then, but I'm very comfortable with my body. And even though I've had children and so on, part of the messaging was, that I still love my body. It's got more curves and, so I got back into professional modeling, but in my everyday lifestyle, I'm a BDSM switch and I live that lifestyle 24/7. So I was doing kink and fetish work in the photography that I was doing. But then I ran into a problem of where do I distribute this where it would be acceptable. So pre-COVID, I started publishing a lot of the pictures on things like FetLife or on OnlyFans and so on. And then that really resonated with a lot of people, because someone of my age doing that and fully owning who she is and letting my freak flag fly got a lot of attention. And so since I'm an exhibitionist, it worked out well for me. Then from my 50th birthday, I accomplished that. I also made a promise to go to Europe, and I spent a month in Europe. So my 51st birthday, I had to outdo that. I'm like, what more can I do? What's a natural extension of what I'm already doing that I can add to this list of spicy things that I do? So I became a burlesque performer. And then I started working with the studio doing porn. My first scene was with Lily Craven. It was a double blowjob. She's a friend of mine in real life.
We love Lily on this show.
I know, I love Lily. In fact, I just saw her last week. So we are actively friends. But she was like, girl, you are on fire. You have got to step into the next realm. And I was actually wanting to do that. And if anything, it kind of started with a conversation, because she and I would cross collaborate with photo shoots and so on. And one day in the studio doing photo shoots, I was like, I really want to get into porn though. All I'm doing is the amateur self-made stuff. And she's like, I got you. So my first day on the set, I was only supposed to film one scene, and they asked me to stay to film more scenes. So I apparently had, performed quite well.
Apparently you got over, as they say in the professional wrestling business.
And I was like, hell yeah. So I continued to film. I've been working with that studio for a few years now. I just picked up a scene. I'm starting to work with a new studio, an independent producer, but they have, an established presence and so on. So I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada. And how that happened was I was living in Colorado doing all this spicy stuff. And I was getting a lot of requests for my time. So I decided to come to Nevada to be a legal sex worker. Now I am not actively doing that. I am doing porn and photo shoots and looking at the burlesque schedule for the upcoming year. So it's all about self-expression and about showing the world that you can be freaky and kinky and have fetishes, and that you don't have to have a perfect body or be a certain age to be able to express yourself and to show that you're a sensual human being and that you have fun doing what you do, because I genuinely have fun doing it, or else I wouldn't be doing it. So that is basically the timeline of how Torey got into porn. So there you go.
Awesome. That's awesome. Well, I will have to say that there is a lot of porn people that live in Colorado.
Yes,
I did not realize.
We're a freaky bunch.
I did not realize this was a thing in Colorado.
So, I told you about the BDSM, lifestyle. I'm also an ethical non-monogamist. So out in Colorado, there is a lot of ethical non-monogamy. If you know where to go, I belong to a lot of different sex clubs out there and so on. I filmed at the Green Door here in Las Vegas last weekend with Nacho Vegas. Yeah. So, I'm part of that scene already. It wasn't like I was an adult content creator or porn star trying to get into places. I was already a member and well known in those places, and that's kind of how my reputation for being really good at what I do came to light. So yeah, I came to Vegas. Partly because I was a madam at a brothel. I'm no longer there. I'm focusing more on what I'm doing with photography and film and so on. But yeah, I love creating outlets for people to be aroused, but also with a segment of the audience that doesn't get to see a fresh-faced 53-year-old doing really kinky stuff. So, yeah.
Well, I think you are amazing. I think that's awesome that you're doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
So how has that transition been from Colorado to Vegas? Because like I tell everybody, anybody that I can get my hands on, I am trying to figure out some damn way to get to Vegas.
You just decide to do it. See, you can overthink it. Literally, what I do is not location dependent. Yes, I miss my friends and family. Yes, I miss, all of the kinky people I would hang out with, my leather fam and my glitter fam and all the different social circles that I'm in. But I stay in touch with them online, and I go back and I visit periodically. Yeah. If anything, they come out here. I've seen in the last couple of weeks, 3 people from back home because they were coming to Vegas. So for me, I went to Nevada because it's the only state that has legal sex work, and I wanted to stay above board. But then in under a year, I became a madam of a brothel. And I've just kind of shifted away from that and going more towards the independent work of doing the more photography and filming, because I was working 18-hour days, 7 days a week, and I didn't have a life. There was no room to do filming. And I said, I can't cut off parts of what I do and so on just to accommodate this one category of sex work. So I left there, and now I've got a lot more time to be able to do the photo shoots and filming and so on, and to actually have a life. I actually get to go out and have fun. I went to a kink event in early January. Literally had my ass whipped on Fremont Street with a single tail, I get to go and do those things now.
So when you all the things, as Frank Catolo likes to say, when the doors fly open, don't shut them, just lean them closed. Bringing up Fremont Street a few years few years ago when we were out there for the ABNs.
Mm-hmm.
We went to Fremont Street, and it was the lovely and talented Britannia's birthday, and I thought, well, let's pull a rib on Brittany because she's a big sex freak. So there was this naughty cop that was out there, real busty naughty cop. It was, if you give her $5 or whatever, she'd spank you, kind of thing. And so I thought, well, we'll pull a rib on Brittany. So I send Brittany over there. And before I go over there, I go over to the naughty cop. And I'm like, what's it going to take to, get a spanking? She's like, well, for you. And I'm like, no, it ain't for me, honey. It's for her. And what was funny was that she did the deal. We got it on video. It was great. But afterwards, Brittany's like, my God, I think she bruised my tailbone. She's like, that woman doesn't know how to. That woman doesn't know anything about.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, true BDSM people know what they're doing. There
they know what they're doing.
You do not do impact play on.
Yes.
There is a certain way that you choke somebody. I can't tell you how many times I came across people who literally know nothing but swear they know what they're doing. And I'm, whoa, hold up.
Yes.
Let's back up. Let me educate you. So I'm a BDSM expert. I literally teach people how to do this. So like the scenes that I do at the dungeon parties that I go to back home, I was known because I don't flinch.
Yeah.
So like I've been in public places. I've been, Coyote Ugly style after a burlesque show up on top of a bar. And, my kinky friends, my friend, bless her heart, she also is in burlesque. And that's how we met, was through burlesque. But we've done photo shoots together. We're trying to get in with the studio to do some scenes together. We're still kind of navigating that. But she's really, really good with impact play, particularly a single tail whip.
Yeah.
So when we would do scenes back home at the club that I belong to called Voodoo Leatherworks, the whole room would just go silent because they're like, she's not flinching. And you can see there's actual impact. It's not just, for show or anything.
Yeah.
She would light my ass up. In fact, my birthday, my last birthday, third birthday was at Voodoo Leatherworks. I did go home to see my friends, and 6 people lined up to spank me 53 times. So you can imagine.
Wow.
My ass was bruised for like a whole week. But see, that's the thing. This is normal for me. Somebody who comes into an impact play, may or may not get bruised depending on who is talking or who is doming or who is, providing that. But you can't just pick something up and hit somebody with it and not know what you're doing. There's aftercare involved. There's a lot of things involved with impact play. So yeah, one swat, that's, $5, but they need to know where they're hitting and
they need to know what the hell they're doing. Yeah. And
you got to wake that skin up.
That's awesome. That's awesome. We have got a great guest with us today. Torey Lisa joins us here on our broadcast. She is amazing. You can find her on the old Twitter machine. She is at Polly Cougar, which is an amazing Twitter name.
Thank you. Polly is P-O-L-Y. It's not 2 L's. It's not the feminine version. It's P-O-L-Y for polyamorous because I'm an ethical non-monogamous. P-O-L-Y and then cougar because, I'm a cougar. I'm a MILF. I'm a GILF. I'm like whatever flavor you're looking for.
Whatever it is,
categories.
You are that. It's kind of like Muhammad Ali used to say, whatever it is, if it's good, I'm that. So, what are some of the different things that because like you were talking about the swinging sex club culture and all this, and I will have to say, we interviewed, I don't remember who it was. We interviewed somebody when we were at the ABN, and we had them on the radio show a couple weeks ago, and they were talking about the swinger culture, and they said, here's the deal: once the swingers find out you're in it, they will come out of the woodwork And you will realize
sure.
you will be like, holy shit, I didn't know you were into this. And they would be like, you're into swinging? You're into this?
So here's the thing, like there's a fine line between recreational sex, partnerships, things like that.
Yes.
And the work that I do. So in all fairness, I have a boyfriend. Obviously, we don't have any arrangement, if you will, when it comes to filming and so on, because he's naturally my partner and he's been in the adult industry as well.
Yeah.
And he's been to film school and so on. So he and I do a lot of stuff together, but it's an open dynamic. So if I were to take on another partner, but here's the thing, so many people come at me wanting me to be their partner, and really what they're looking for is free sex.
Yes. Yes.
And when I would go to, like, even before I got into porn and so on, when I would go to swinger parties, when they found out I was a unicorn, because I'm always in open dynamics. So even if I'm partnered, multi-partnered, I still am a free agent. I'm a free agent.
I'm a free agent.
Sex, like, I'm a free agent.
They're gonna get you on waivers.
Me just trying to get free, amazing sex. Like, no, that's not going to happen. So I do pick partners to play with recreationally alongside my partner. I call him Big Daddy for good reason.
Big Daddy. Not to be confused. Not to be confused.
In fact, I'm going to go see him tonight. So
with the what's funny is there is a British professional wrestler. He's like, I guess was a huge deal back in the day, and his name was Big Daddy. And when you say Big Daddy, that's all I can think of is these British people going, Big Daddy.
Now I haven't said it with an accent, but now that sounds a little kinky. I might try that.
Because like you'd walk around over there and you would drop various names and people would be like, oh, so do they have anything to do with Big Daddy?
He's like, kinky and freaky too. Like
Nothing
he literally, it is hard to find somebody that can keep up with me. He does a fine job. So the thing is,
he does a fine job. He does a fine job.
But we go to swingers clubs together, and like we had a foursome a couple weeks ago. You know, like I do have recreational sex, but it's tied together with the bond that I have with my existing partner or partners. You know, that type of thing. But my work is my work. So when people come at me and they're like, oh, well, you know, I want to film with you. Okay, well, are you TTS registered? Like, you know, are you prepared to do your 2257s? They're like, huh? I was like, yeah, you're just trying to get something for free.
Yeah,
you know, chat about this industry.
that's the thing that I always love is the whole is the whole testing and the and the waivers and all that. And
so
that's how you scare a lot of these pervs off. You go, hey, are you prepared to sign a 2257?
Exactly. And so here's the interesting thing, though. I do give an outlet for everyday people to be able to film with me. I fuck my fans. But they have to follow porn rules. They have to, you know, they have to get tested. They have to do the 2257s. They're, you know, holding their ID up and getting like I follow federal regulations for them just as much as I do in any other filming scenario. But it does give people and my fans, because, you know, on OnlyFans and so on, I will be approached and say, hey, I really, you know, and it's like, okay, well, we can film together. That's what we can do. Or when the new job reopens type thing, you can legally get access to me. Right now I'm in between brothels. So, you know, right now I'm just focusing on filming and photography and some travel and things like that. But yeah, you've got to show up and do the work, because sex work is work. Okay. Yes. It's not like you can just like prop your phone on the nightstand and go to town with me in some hotel in Vegas. Not gonna happen.
That's right.
I can't, literally, I told my boyfriend, I was like, I'm going to turn, not that I would, you know, risk anybody's confidentiality, but it's like one day, I've joked about it, but it's like one day I'm just going to have you read my inboxes and you can see how crazy it is, how many people approach and go, oh, let's film, baby. Let's do content. And I was like, okay, have you worked with a studio before? Like, are you TTS registered? And they're like, huh? And I'm like, oh, honey, you're going to have to do your homework, but here's what I require. So last weekend I did film with a fan. Yeah. And he did everything that was required, came in from out of state and everything for it. So there's that.
This has been...
You need to act professional and be a professional if you're going to film with me.
This has been the thing that I have because for the last, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 years, I've had all sorts of people harassing me about getting into the adult film business. And finally...
Harassing in what way? To do it? Or
I've had all sorts of people that are like, you would be great. You know, because part of my thing is I don't take anything seriously. I take nothing seriously. So, like, for instance, when I was doing MMA and boxing and all that, they would have these weigh-ins where these guys would show up and they're, do all that. So the first time I showed up to one of these weigh-ins, I showed up in bunny ears, a mankini, and I think I had a bunny tail or whatever. And I did the gayest weigh-in photo you would ever see.
Oh my God!
Well,
that's
then
hilarious.
one of the weigh-ins that I showed up to,
He'd be great at burlesque too.
Then
I'm just
one
gonna throw
weigh-in,
that out there. I'm just gonna do a little plot twist. Like I'm gonna add to your list. Okay,
burlesque.
You just need to take that.
There we go.
That personality.
That'll
to
be
stage.
the next thing. We did one where I showed up one time dressed as a woman. I had a wig and I had high heels and I carried my replica belt like a purse. I
love it.
We do all these things. So I've had various people tell me, you should get into porn, As I've got all the outfits, like I've got a giant sombrero that I wear. I have a banana outfit, banana suit, and all these things. And so we've started taking the plunge to do this. We've got all the OnlyFans and all the clips for all the stuff set up. And me and the lovely and talented Britannia have been filming and been putting content together. I've got an editor that does all my stuff for me.
Nice.
I always do the releases. I do all the stuff. And I've found more and more people that are that are trying to get into porn. They don't understand that, you've got to be tested. You got to have the release forms. You've got to have all this stuff. And I just find this insane.
I was used to testing before I even came into porn. Obviously, when you're multi-partnered, you're going to sex clubs. I still would have safe sex, but I would be fluid bound with one, my main partner.
Yes.
And for his safety and mine, we would get tested very frequently, up to the point that my doctor had me going in like every week because I was just that active. In my social circles. And so, long story short, when I came to Nevada, that's part of the requirements of being legally licensed is that you have to maintain testing every week. And that's out of my pocket. And I've been doing it for every week for a year and a half. So, but I was already in the TTS system. So when I went to the last location that I worked at, they used TTS for their testing. I was like, well, hallelujah, it's going to be simplified. It's all going to be in the same portal then. I was like, let's go. I'm already registered.
It's like USADA
it's
for
like
all the
there's
MMA
costs
guys.
involved. There's a lot that goes into it. And like you were talking about the editor, there is a lot of back-end production that goes with even simple clips.
Well, one of the things that always... when I started to get into doing all this, I had all these people telling me, well, you should do this, you should do that. And I'm like thinking, okay, I'm from the TV world. So I'm thinking we're going to need 65 cameras. We're going to need all these things. And then I talked to a lot of these assholes and they're like, no, just film it with a phone. And I'm like, what the fuck? But all the stuff that I've been doing, I gotta have two cameras. I gotta have two cameras.
Simplified way, like the fucking my fan last weekend. It was 3 cameras, different angles.
Okay. Yes. Okay? That's awesome.
So I do multi-angle. I do POV. The first studio I worked with is predominantly POV. I do have a GoPro. I've got the body. I've got like all of that stuff.
We've started using the GoPro thing, with the headgear.
You can do the DLSR. You can do a high quality production if you know what to do with it after you've filmed it and so on. So I use different tools, different programs and so on, and I do it myself, but I am an outsource it kind of girl. Okay. Yes. So that's why the boyfriend in film school, I'm like, hey honey, I'm sending you some clips, play around with it, see what you think. Yes. And he's awesome. Watching me fuck somebody else, it's like
okay, so you
see what you can come up with, because sometimes I don't have the time.
You said 3 angles. Yeah. Where were your 3 angles? I'm assuming one was at the head of the bed and one was at the corner of the bed. Where's the third one?
Okay, so I have one on each side of the bed, but kind of offset from each other.
So you don't catch the camera.
And then,
that's right.
And then, optimally, I have a camera person actually moving around and getting, zooming in and getting into that.
Yes.
Yeah.
You need a runner.
That's why I like working with studios.
You need a runner.
Studios have that availability. I have brought in people to film with. Like I did a threesome with my friend May. We're both MILFs, and she always wanted to do porn, so I pulled her in on one of my scenes, But working with a studio, you do have better production, but there's nothing wrong with amateur. Just put up multiple cameras and see what comes out. No pun intended.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So the 3. Okay, so the 3 angles.
I mean, you got to get the ass shots. Come on, I've got some ass. Like
you do have an ass. I will have to say that is a tremendous transition. We are going to this is definitely we have got a great guest with us today. She joins us live here, Torey Lisa.
Come on, this booty is
Polly
the star of
Cougar.
the show.
We are going to put, if I can do this quick enough, we are going to put this up on our, there it is. There is a shot of her ass. She has a fantastic ass. We are going to put this up on the, on the old Twitter machine here, or off
Which
of the
one
Twitter
is
machine. This was a, look at that ass right there. Good Lord. You could bounce spare change off that ass. This was a shot that you took. You were saying that you were cordially invited to my party. There will be lots of hashtag cake and frosting.
Yes.
This
so that was
photo
that was a still
is
photo.
Something else. Good Lord.
Yes, I have been blessed with a very voluptuous bootay. And and for my age, and it's not been cosmetically altered. This is my natural ass.
That's a
so
fantastic
there's no Brazilian butt lift or injections or anything like that. I just have a very plump, bubbly butt.
Years and years ago on this program, I might have said, you have got the kind of ass that I would write home to mom about. And then,
I know, my boyfriend did.
And then, of course, the question is, why am I writing home to my mother about women's asses? But
she's like, you go, girl.
that ass is something else, I'll have to say. Torey Lisa with us today, the Polly Cougar. If you want to find her on the old Twitter machine at Polly Cougar, POLYCOUGAR, Polly Cougar.
Correct.
And,
I'm also on Pornhub, but that is Torey Lisa.
She's on.
You can look me up as Torey Lisa, TORREYLISA, and it'll pull up because I use my real name. This is my This is my actual name.
This is
it's not a fake name.
as the rappers would say, this is your government name.
It is. It is. I'm very proud of what I do, so I don't hide it. Everybody knows what I do. The only person that does not know, because it's not age appropriate, is my granddaughter. And she will know when the time is right. But
hey.
I have adult children. They're boys. They have seen me going to the studio and going to dungeon parties. And, you know, like, they are happy that I'm happy, and they're very supportive of it. So, yeah, they would go, whoa, Mom, you know, come out in full BDSM gear on the way to a dungeon party. There's a little bit of a shock value, but because I'm so open about what I do, I did a documentary. I've been in the media a lot. So thank you for this opportunity to finally get to have a conversation with you and to talk about the fact that I chose this. Like, I did a complete 180. I didn't have to do this. I wasn't desperate. Like, this is something I desire doing. So I do use my real name. But if you guys just Google me, you'll find me on Pornhub, OnlyFans, different spicy sites. I'm very generous with the free content that I do give. But the juicy stuff is behind a paywall. So there's that.
I wouldn't expect anything less.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't expect anything less.
You know, I love hanging out with friends, and, you know, like, for instance, I might buy them lunch or something, and they're like, oh, you didn't have to do that. I said, hell yeah, I did. My pussy is paying for this. It's all good.
Amazing.
I treat you.
Amazing.
Courtesy of my pussy.
If you get a chance, go over and check out the fantastic Torey Lisa over there on the fantastic. She's on Pornhub, and she is all that, as the kids say. So, Torey Lisa, before we let you go, what is next for you? What are some adventures that you have lined out or coming up?
I'm writing a memoir. I have actually been writing a memoir. I've been working on it for a few years. I even have a writer's page, fan page over on Facebook. If you go to Torey Lisa Writer, it'll take you to that fan page. Basically, I am trying to take this downtime, if you will, and not working 18 hours a day to do what I'm doing, but also to finish that project. I believe that the last few chapters still had to play out, you know, like the moving to Vegas and what those adventures were and so on. So I am now at a point in my life where I feel like the last chapter has been lived and I can finish it. So I'm going to be looking to get it traditionally published, but if it's not traditionally published, or if I feel it's going to take too long, then I will self-publish. But a book is coming out.
That's awesome.
It's called Unleashed. It's titled Unleashed.
Unleashed.
Mm-hmm.
That is awesome.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Torey Lisa with us today. She is just a little bit of everything.
And I'm going to do more filming.
Well,
any studio out there wants to work with somebody fun, here I am.
You are amazing, I will have to say.
Thank you.
And definitely, when we are in Vegas next year for the AVNs, we definitely have to get together for a video interview. That would be.
Yes.
Are you gonna? Would you attend the AVNs, or would you just?
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, hanging around as a mark or whatever.
A lot can happen between now and then. I would like to go as a talent, but I'll be there one way or the other. Regardless of the capacity that I'm there for, I will be there.
That's awesome. So, did you just get moved to Vegas just fairly recently, or have you been there for a little bit?
So, I got a 5-bedroom house in January. Prior to that, I was working and living at the brothel that I was the madam for. So, I didn't need to have an offsite house, but because I was there all the time. So yes, I officially moved here, but I was working just outside of Vegas since July of last year. And prior to that, I was up in Reno Reno,
awesome.
Tahoe area. So I've been in Nevada since October of 2021.
Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic.
I love it here in Vegas. I do. I love it.
So during the AVNs, do a lot of these sex clubs do things, or do they just figure it's off limits because the people that are doing the sex clubs are not the same people that are going to the porn convention, or vice versa? Is anything like that?
Open those doors up, man. Let me tell you. I mean, we like to let our hair down. I mean, I don't know of any specific examples to tell you with authority.
Yeah.
But what I do know is that the same week that AVN was going on, I was at the brothel, and me and the girls that worked there, we were like, that was the first time I'd ever had to wait more than 24 hours for my test results because they got flooded.
Oh yes.
So we were kind of like trying to stay in compliance, going, if we don't get these results. And
I
so
remember
TTS
seeing,
was like trying to push the brothel workers through, as fast as they could. So
all these people that were waiting in lines.
AVN does create an impact. There's obviously a mass amount of people coming in for testing and filming and all that stuff. But as far as the clubs are concerned, I will probably be there.
That's awesome.
I've been to a couple of them here so far. I've been to Red Rooster and the Green Door. Back home, not only do they have like the formal venues, but then there's private parties and mansion parties and stuff. I'll start infiltrating those.
I'll start infiltrating those. That is amazing.
I gotta check them out. Are you kidding?
That is amazing. Well, I will have to say that started, just of this year, me and the lovely and talented Britannia have fully started doing this whole swinging lifestyle thing, and
nice.
That's kind of
let me know if you need any guidance or help or participation or whatever. I mean, I am always up for threesome, foursomes, and moresomes.
Threesome, foursomes, and moresomes. Bam! There it is.
Trust me. I've pretty much done everything. Did you know you can fit 7 people? You can Tetris 7 people on a full-size bed. I'll show you.
That we might have to do when that might be a video that we put together when we're in Vegas. Because originally Lily Craven and I were gonna, her and I interviewed some chick last year, Samantha something. I guess she does apartment wrestling, and apparently she lives in Vegas. And one of the things that we were going to do was this chick was going to apartment wrestle me. And I was going to wear my outfits and all my crap. I was going to, have the bunny ears and the man. I would
pay to see that. Jiggy, come on. That is awesome.
But the chick was out of state when we were all there for AVN, so me and Lily didn't get a chance to do our thing where this chick was going to, basically she was going to kick my ass. That's how it was going to work. And we were going to film it. We were going to stream the whole thing. Mm-hmm. Because there's a lot of people that really hate my guts, so they would have tuned in just to see me get beat up.
Ooh,
which was part of the appeal. But I'd
have to get up to get the back of this door over here to get some of my flogs, but like I don't have that little mamby-pamby stuff you find at novelty stores. I have like full on everything.
Well, you know what's great?
I can tie you up. I can do all kinds of really, really fun things.
When we were out there in Colorado last year over spring break, hanging out with Lily, she has got this garage that is full of just sex toys. She could literally open her own goddamn sex store if she wanted to. This garage.
Grab it and show you, but yeah, I run with the big dogs. And like I said, I know what I'm doing. So if somebody is like new to it or something, they're in safe hands. It's all about safe, sane, and consensual.
Yes.
And of course, the scene that you're talking about, it sounds like so much fun. I would definitely do that. But like, I'm going to be going back to Colorado because I have some custom dungeon furniture being made for me. I have what's called a mega bed. I have to go pick up dungeon furniture.
Gotta go pick up dungeon furniture, baby.
I need to make a run to Colorado to get the goods because that's really where the kink community is like very. It's a very robust kink community out there in Colorado.
Let me see here. By the way, if you're listening to us live, I have not pimped this all day long, and I probably should be because, by God, I'm trying to do all I can to win this fucking award. But the ASN Awards are going to be the ASN Lifestyle Magazine Awards. That's another long URL. They are going to be in Vegas in August. And potentially, if I end up getting pretty far up on the list, and I think I might win an award, I may come to Vegas in August for the award show. You just need to come to
Vegas. Don't find an excuse to come to Vegas. Just come to Vegas.
And
I was at one of the ASN events back in January, one of the kink events. So
yes.
Yeah, I'm familiar with them and so on. But come on, Jiggy.
You were at were you at the what the hell was that thing? I think I think I've got video of you on stage. I think I've got video of you performing on stage at this event.
I was on stage, yes.
Yes, I've got video of that. I'll have to dig that up and send that to you.
Okay.
Because we did media.
I was there with my friend. Did you remember seeing a whip?
We did media at that event, and it was me in my damn Santa suit. And Brittany in her weird dominatrix outfit that I had a suit on that was green that had Santas on it. I don't know if you remember.
How did we not see each other? And I did get there kind of late because I'm a night owl. I like to show up when the party's really getting started.
Yes, but I remember you did perform. And they had
a contest, and I was in that.
Yes, they had a contest.
So, yes, I was up on stage. I did.
Yes.
Present. But I was there with friends.
Yeah. It was a weird deal because there was the BDSM people would not interact with the swinger people. It was a weird dynamic.
I'm the crossover.
It was like, what is this?
Yep.
But Michael and his crew do an amazing job, and they were up against a because I think they had an event scheduled, and then the hotel got nervous or whatever the fuck, and they canceled it.
Yeah, the venue was a little different than what I expected, but it was still a fun event. It was good to meet new faces and meet new people. And
yes,
so on. I'm just sorry that we didn't connect and hang out. Now we know. You know how to get a hold of me now. Good.
So if we end up, because Castano, who is his Ice Lounge, his lifestyle club in Wichita, Kansas. I can't believe there's a swingers club in Wichita, Kansas. But there are
swingers clubs in every state.
Yes, and
I have belonged to a lot of them across the U.S. I've been a swinger, an ethical non-monogamous. I started with going to swinger parties and stuff back in 2003.
Wow.
So I was a military wife, so I bounced around quite a bit across the U.S. But yeah, they're everywhere. You just need to know where to look. If you go to different websites, I'm not going to necessarily promote them, but I do talk about them in my own travels. But there's ways to find out what's going on in the area, or what venues are available, or what sex clubs you can join. If anybody wants to explore ethical non-monogamy, whether it's swinging, polyamory, and so on, there's a huge support network out there and a lot of outlets to do it. That's why I love traveling, is because I will always find the venue wherever I'm going.
I will always find the venue. I will always find the venue. That is fantastic. So
I like making friends, and I share nicely.
Well, Lily was going to take me and Brittany the next time that we were in Colorado. She was going to take us to this one club that she knew of, and I was trying to remember.
Which one.
Trying to remember.
I've been a member there for years.
I was trying to remember what the hell it was called.
Scarlet Ranch.
Maybe.
Yep.
I don't remember, but
Tina
Lily
remembers there.
Lily was going to take us to this place. So.
It's called the
But,
Scarlet Ranch. It's a really nice club, by the way. Really nice club.
Really?
Yeah, it is. It's upscale, high end.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Because we've been to a couple.
I've been going there since 2019.
I have found, and we're getting into a whole new deal here, but we're gonna roll with it. So we're just gonna keep going here with Torey Lisa. By the way, at Polly Cougar, if you want to find her on the Twitter machine, as they say.
Mm-hmm.
Me and the lovely and talented Britannia have had more success with just meeting individuals and doing swinging at people's houses than we have gone to swingers clubs. Is that the norm? Or
yes. So again, once you kind of get into the circles and you become reputable, because any swinging dick can try to get into these events and so on, okay?
Yeah.
But there's etiquette. There's protocols, just like there is in a dungeon party at a swingers party, okay? So a lot of times people will host more intimate, more private events with their close friends. It takes away the whole, oh, now we're dealing with this thirsty guy over here who's acting inappropriately, because they don't last very long. They literally, at clubs, they will be asked to leave. Most clubs like the Scarlet Ranch, you have to sign paperwork. You have to, like if you go to the BDSM club I belong to, you have to go through an orientation, okay? So depending on whether you want to jump through those hoops and mind your manners and be accountable, but then there are private parties. There's mansion parties. Sometimes organized events where they will block off an entire floor of a hotel. This happens a lot in Denver.
Yes. Castano's always talking about hotel takeovers.
So that way nobody accidentally is wandering down the hallway when all kinds of hell is breaking loose with doors open and people fucking in, you know. Like, trust me, I've been to those too. Those are hella fun. But you don't want grandma getting off on the wrong floor. Then again, maybe you do. I don't know. That's your thing. I'm a gilf, so like,
that is amazing.
But
you
the
don't
point
want
here
grandma
is
getting off on the wrong floor.
Yep, there are a lot of events. You just need to know where to go. But I like that you're doing the smaller, more intimate ones. I think that's really good for beginners.
Yeah.
People who are kind of getting a feel, testing the waters, getting a feel for how things work. Well, then, like at BDSM clubs, they have what's called tasting events, where you get to try things out for a little bit with somebody who's reputable and knows what they're doing. So they have presenters that will give you a taste of what it's like to do, say, wax play, knife play, fire play, impact play, you know, bondage, like any number of scenarios. If you wanted to try something without fully investing in going out and buying all this stuff and finding somebody, they hold events and so on. So like you can go in and dip your toes in.
Yeah.
You just need to like I said, probably have to sign some paperwork and pay admission fees and so on. No big deal. But when you start getting to know the people, you just kind of network from there.
Yes.
Yes, I know a lot of people in and out of the industry. It is all about that expression of oneself.
So, you mentioned earlier that you used to be a madam. How in the world do you get into this whole thing?
So, you have to understand that I've been in different lines of work my whole life. In the medical field, legal field, I have a medical background. Like, you know, I was in the nonprofit sector. I've even been a guest at the White House. Like, I was the perpetual good girl, okay? So I rubbed elbows in D.C., and I was a public figure back then, and then I did this whole whoop. So when I decided to go to Nevada, you also have to understand, like, the first business I ever ran, I was in Entrepreneur magazine within 2 years. So I'm a business-minded individual.
Yes.
Plain and simple. Okay. I've been successful. So I even trained over 9,000 people during COVID on how to do their OnlyFans pages for free. Like branding,
awesome.
marketing, like all that stuff is my jam. So when I came out here, it was actually, I was stepping way outside the box.
Yeah.
But not. It was stuff I was already doing back home. But as far as making it my business, that's different. So within 2 months of me working in a brothel, I became like their lead trainer. Like I trained all the new girls coming in.
That's awesome.
Within 2 months of me doing it for the first time. You know, I learned quickly. I'm highly intelligent. I'm very nurturing. I've been doing life coaching for people for many, many years. Like I know how to coach people, train them, and so on. And I'm always looking out for them. So that evolved into another brothel asking me to come work for them and to do the training and so on. But then that turned into a promotion of like, hey, we want you to like run the show type thing. So
yeah.
I did that. And unfortunately, there's not that work-life balance. Like there are other areas of my life, you know, I was working 18-hour days just being a madam. And that's not quite what I wanted to do. So I have negotiated with another brothel to do like co-madam, where I'm madaming with another madam, and we trade off. So we have time to do filming and, you know, photo shoots and travel and so on. I have to have a life on top of being a madam.
Yes, yes. Well, you have been fantastic. This has been just such an amazing deal today. Before we let you go, where is the best spot to send people to find your stuff?
Okay, so you've already plugged Twitter. I have a collection of haters and critics, naturally, just with this line of work. So sometimes my social media accounts go down in a ball of flames, you know, like, so what I have is a link tree. Basically, it's a link library. So if you go to direct.me/Torey Lisa, if I lose any of my social media accounts, whether it's TikTok, Insta, I've lost like 5 TikTok accounts already, you know? So like, if you're following me on Twitter and that goes down, how are you going to find me? So if you go to direct me, Torey Lisa, it's direct.me/Torey Lisa, that will always have my updated social media accounts. If you go to my OnlyFans, it's Polly Cougar, just like my Twitter is. If you go to Pornhub, Torey Lisa. So Torey Lisa, Polly Cougar. You can also go to polycougar.com. I do have that domain as well, and that will lead you to some of my links. But if you go to direct.me/Torey Lisa, that's the one I like the most because I can insert more naughty things in there than I can on other link libraries. And you'll see the documentaries that I did. You'll see a link to my Pornhub. You'll see a way that, you know, you can send me a tip or whatever. Like there's every single way to get a hold of me, and every single place that you will find anything that I have put out there for free. And then if you click on OnlyFans, there will be a paywall for that, but it's really nominal. You get a whole lot. It's like over 1,000 photos and videos, way over that. And it's the lowest price you can get, simply because I want people to be able to have access without too many barriers.
That's awesome. Well, you are amazing. Thank you for spending as much time
as
you did with us today. And I look forward to doing this again, and I definitely will be in touch. Have yourself a wonderful rest of your Sunday, and I will talk to you soon. Thank you, Torey.
Thank you so much, and I am really honored to be here, so thank you. I look forward to the next time. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Definitely.
Thanks for listening.
Have yourself a wonderful day. There she goes, the fantastic Torey Lisa with us today. She joins us live here on our big program, and hell of a deal. Hell of a deal today. Thanks for joining us. You can join us each and every week on Skyhawk After Dark, and that will wrap things up here from our big program. We'll see you next time.